We lost, okay? We lost. I won't lie. What do you mean we? We, myself and the 53 members of the New England Patriots. Dude, I am a part of the team, right? Now, here's the deal. I went to the Super Bowl. It's my first Super Bowl I ever went to. I had the opportunity to go to one other Super Bowl. There was a Super Bowl in LA. Actually, in 2020, the Rams won it, and YouTube invited me. I said no. Because candidly, I don't really care to go to a Super Bowl unless my team is in it. Because I'll tell you right now, after attending my first Super Bowl, it kind of fucking sucks. Like, okay, obviously for me, it was cool because it was my team and I got to cheer them on in person. But there's a lot of reasons why the in-person experience, I would argue, is worse than the at-home TV experience. For starters, the price is absurd. It insane. Okay, the cost of Super Bowl tickets start at $3,500. That's where it starts. If you want to just get into the fucking room, it's around $3,000. Second of all, it is much longer than a normal football game. Normally, a football game, if you guys ever watch one, it lasts like 2 hours, 45 minutes, right? The Super Bowl, brother, that shit is straight up 4.5 hours. Now, you don't really notice it at home because you are watching all the TV timeouts, which has become as much of a spectacle as the actual Super Bowl itself. There are no TV timeout commercials when you're there. Third, okay, the halftime show. You know what? Actually, we'll get to that in a moment. Let me back up. So the Patriots miraculously have made it to the Super Bowl this year. I wanted to go because I'm a fan of the New England Patriots. And so I decided to surprise all of my childhood friends with tickets to go. Okay, I have a group of 6 people who we would go on ski trips like every year in New Hampshire. And this is the first time that the Patriots have been in a Super Bowl and I have money, candidly. This is the first time in my life I've ever had money at the same time that the Patriots are good. Because usually I'm just at home watching it on my TV. So I bought tickets for everybody. I flew everybody out. And the 6 of us went to the game together. Now, they got there a bit earlier than me. I had to go late because, as you guys might have remembered, I did a sponsor stream with State Farm literally 14 hours straight the day before the Super Bowl, which ended at like 1:30. So I had to fly on Super Bowl Sunday. You had to do that sponsor. If you knew how much the Super Bowl tickets costed, yes, I did. Yeah. Yes, I did. I promise you, yes, I did. Because it's not cheap to get 6 Super Bowl tickets, I'll tell you that much. So anyway, I wake up. I have a flight planned. I'm supposed to get there like 2.5 hours before the game starts, which is plenty of time to like do some pregame stuff, hang out with people, whatever. I'm on my way to the airport. It's a Southwest flight. I got a text. Your flight has been rebooked. You've been rebooked to a later flight. Now I started panicking because I didn't check in until 55 minutes before my flight takes off. And sometimes what airlines do is if they are overbooked and you don't check in on time, they'll just remove you and let somebody who's on the waiting list get their seat. Now I'm going with my friend Christian. Christian also did not check in. Arguably a little dumber than me because he literally said, doesn't it check you in automatically if you buy the flight close enough to the time it takes off? I don't know where he got this information from. I don't know where he got it. So we both get rebooked. Now it turns out actually it wasn't our fault because we go to the airport, we go through the line. Lady says, ooh, yeah, your flight got canceled. Mechanical issue with the plane. Plane could not take off. It would be a liability. The whole flight's canceled. So we've rebooked you. Easy. Thank God. We rebooked you to a 3 p.m. flight. Pause. When? 3 p.m. Okay. The Super Bowl starts at 3 p.m. It's noon. Okay. It's not really an option. She goes, no worries, no worries. There's a 1:30. You'll arrive at 3 p.m. I'm like, you're not hearing me. It starts at 3. I can't leave and arrive at 3. So I go, you know what? I'm going to find some stuff. Could you just refund me? Now, the issue is it's a round trip. And generally, if you don't do the first leg of your round trip, they cancel the second leg. You can't book a round trip, miss the first, and then still get on the second one unless you tell them. So I'm like, can I just get a refund on the first leg, keep my second part of the round trip? She goes, ooh, I'm about to call for that. She gets on the phone. She starts chatting, which I'm not hating. She's like, oh, Sue, how you doing? And she's like, you know how it is. She's like, I only got 2 hours left on my shift. How much you got? She's like, I'm here for another 4. And they're chatting and they're having a good time. And meanwhile, I'm literally sitting there looking to rebook my flight because I have paid a crazy amount of money for Super Bowl tickets. And there's a possibility I'm going to miss some of it, if not a huge part of the game. Their conversation continues. So, who you rooting for tonight? Now, here's the crazy thing. I am wearing crazy amounts of Patriots gear. I have a Patriots jersey on. I have a Patriots sweatshirt draped around my neck. I have like a beanie. I have like a bag that says, I love Drake May. I have a fucking headband that says, I'll kill myself if the Patriots don't win today. So she doesn't say outright who she's a fan of. She just asks the lady who she's talking to, who she's a fan of. And then after that lady replies, she goes, I'm rooting for them too. The issue is she doesn't know I can just hear the other lady on the phone. She kind of sounds like a, Charlie Brown's mom or whatever, but I can hear Seahawks. Stress out of my mind, Seahawks employee taking their sweet time. Eventually I get my refund and I find a way to get to the game on time. It was a bit of finagling, but I have missed enough flights in my life that I actually have this skill to rebook last second. Okay. I know all the options. I'm going to the Bay Area. I'm like, okay, we have a few options. There's SJC, there's SFO, there's Oakland. We can go to Oakland. It's probably an easier drive on the east side of the Bay than the west side. We'll run that. Get to the game at maybe 2:15. Game starts at 3:30 technically, but you're supposed to be in your seats by 3. So we get there on time enough. Now, the actual game itself, I live tweeted, and it was a mixed bag of emotions is how I would describe it. I'm just going to pull up a brief series of reactions of how I felt throughout the game. You can see it gets progressively worse as the gifts keep going. Not exactly a flat or a up and down, mostly just a down. Will Campbell, is just not cut out for a left tackle. Drake May was playing the ball a little bit too safe. Probably spent the entire first half just focusing on not turning the ball over, and then the second half turning the ball over. Whatever. The game didn't exactly go phenomenally. But if you guys follow the stream, you'll know that I actually bet on the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl a couple of months ago. Before the playoffs even started, they were my pick, and I put my money where my mouth was. The issue is I'm a Patriots fan. So an hour before kickoff, I sold every single bet I had on the Seahawks, and I put it all on the Patriots winning. So all the money that I made was packaged into the hopes and dreams that were crushed with each succeeding Drake May turnover. Just absolutely fucking vanquished. Now, I didn't know that it was going to be vanquished. At halftime, the score was 9-0. The Patriots defense actually played phenomenally, I would argue, for the amount of the time of possession that the Seahawks had and the field position that they were getting. I think they played really well. I mean, they gave up 5 field goals in 5 possessions. I think they played phenomenally. So by the end of the first half, I was like, hey, there's a real shot we could win this. I think they're doing a good job here. And then the halftime show started. Now, the halftime show was pretty fire. But I did notice something about the halftime show experience when you were in person at the Super Bowl versus when you're at home watching it on TV. There's been a transition over the past, maybe call it 10 years, 15 years. The Super Bowl halftime show went from a concert for people in a stadium to a live music video. There's a big difference between Michael Jackson's performance, which is on a stage for the people in the crowd, versus I would say maybe the first domino is like The Weeknd, right? The Weeknd going through all these like little mirrors or whatever, and it's like very much for the camera. This was like that because most of the Super Bowl halftime performance was me looking at a bunch of bushes trying to figure out where the hell Bad Bunny was. Low key, it was like the Homer Simpson Bush meme, except I'm playing Where's Waldo and Bad Bunny's like here, and I'm like, where is he? Music was fire, but the visual spectacle of it is just not something that is made for people in person. It's made for people who watch from home, which makes sense, right? There's 130 million people or whatever who watch from home and like 60,000 people in the stadium. So it's not something that's, it doesn't even make sense to make the product a higher premium product for the people who show up in person. What was funny about it, I tweeted out about it because the stadium was going raucous for it, regardless. As I tweeted out, all around banger, a lot of stadium had been Bad Bunny haters and shambles, excuse me. But then I went to the bathroom before the performance started. I saw a bunch of bushes walking away, and I didn't realize that the bushes were people until I just saw a crowd of bushes walking away. I just thought they were bushes. So I just tweeted out about it. That blew up. That tweet has fucking 300. I think this is my most liked tweet ever in the history of my life. I don't think I have ever had more likes on a tweet. Everybody is just quote retweeting it and saying American veterans during the Vietnam War or whatever other joke they come up with. When I get too much wheat while playing Catan. I think it got cross-posted onto Twitter by Barstool, and that TikTok, got cross-posted. Yeah. Oh my God, here it is. Vietnam. Yeah. It got cross-posted onto Barstool on TikTok. It's got like 3 million likes, which I guess I wasn't the only one who didn't know that the bushes were people. News to me. So anyway, that was the halftime show performance. Second half starts, and I still have a lot of, I have faith, right? I have faith that this comeback can be made. I just believe that it's going to work out. And I think part of that's because I had the pleasure of going to Dodgers Game 7, where Shohei Ohtani gave up, I think it was like a 3-run home run. And the Dodgers, would miraculously make a comeback where they were like maybe 10-1 dogs after being down. Like, we're never out of this shit. We're never out of this shit. Unfortunately, that is not what happened. And Drake May got one awesome touchdown to Matt Collins, had another awesome drive from the 1-yard line, and threw what seemed like just the most dog shit interception I've ever seen in my damn life. Just into 2 defenders, his wide receiver, many steps away, and pretty much all hope was dead right there. If not, any remaining hope was killed shortly thereafter, where he threw a pick six into a linebacker. So anyway, Patriots lose, and I put a lot on the Patriots winning. My only saving grace is I woke up with a vision of Mac Hollins specifically, for some reason, being the guy. So I put $1,000 on Mac Hollins getting 50 yards and a touchdown. Just a 2-leg bet, and it was a 10-1 payout. So I didn't actually do too bad. Yeah, I broke about even. Stop sports gambling. Well, just to be clear, that's my follow-up. This was also the end of my sports betting streak. I bet on basically every NFL playoff game after I made my bracket, and it went fabulously overall. But I have now since ended my sports betting, and I am done. And after the game, I was feeling a little bit down, so I decided to go to the casino. Technically, it's not sports betting, guys. It's a whole different ball game. Completely different. It's not sports betting. It's not sports betting. Totally different ball game, y'all. Okay? I just pulled out $1,000 and I went to the casino. God forbid a sad fan goes to the casino to gamble a little bit. I lost $1,000. I pull out another $1,000. And I'm playing some games. Wanting to end my night on a positive note, I'm sitting at about even. I go over to blackjack table. The dealer is having the worst time of her life. She is openly complaining to her employee next to her how much she hates the table that she is dealing. I'm at the table. I'm literally at the table. She's going, I fucking hate. Can't wait to get off. God help me through this day. I'm just like, hit. Please. What did you do? I didn't do anything. The issue is California casinos are cringe. So every time you make a bet, they take, I don't know if this is a casino specific thing or a California casino thing, they take a $1 rake. So obviously a lot of people who are at the casino are from out of town. So everybody who's coming to the table is discovering, right? You go to a casino, you sit down on a blackjack table, they're discovering this rule. And the first reaction isn't like, oh boy, wow, I get to pay you guys $1. It's like, well, this fucking sucks. And she's on her like 80th tour of being like, I don't set the rake. And then a guy walks up drunk as hell and he's like, you're already getting $15. She's like, I don't get the dollars. I'm just sitting there like, can I fucking hit, guys? Can I fucking hit? Please, my team lost today. Can I just fucking hit? Anyway, she gets up. Don't know where she went. Hope she's all right. New guy sits down. huge gauges, looks at me, you're going to be me, I'm going to be him. Check out this reaction. And I'm like, oh boy, it's a Ludbud. He sits down, instantly locks in, almost like he was trying to impress me with how professional of a dealer he can be. He starts going, action you. And I'm at this point, it's like 1:30. I have to wake up at 8 a.m. to be able to get back to do the yard. I'm like, all right, I want to go home up or even more sad. I put I have $1,000. I put 600 in one hand. Feeling money as fuck. Put 600 in one hand, which by the way, $6 of rake. Why? Because I figured I would hit. Instantly, boom, 10 of diamonds. Boom, queen of hearts. I'm sitting with the 20. Dealer deals out of our cards. Deals himself an ace. He does the little thing where he checks to see if the second card is a 10. He binks a blackjack. And this casino does not do insurance. It also pays out 6 to 5 on blackjack. If it did insurance, I still wouldn't have taken it. But they don't even offer it. He gives me a sly look like, I go, whatever. I still have $400. I put 400 in. Deals me a 7. Deals me a 4. Deals himself a 6. I am in a vintage money position. So I do what every smart person does. I double down. The problem, I'm out of money. So I go to the ATM to pull out money. It says daily limit exceeded. I go, why is my daily limit 1,000? Whatever. I go to Christian. I go, how much you got? He says like 200. I go, great. Give it to me. I go, dealer, double for less. He goes, all right. Drops me an 8. Now I'm sitting at 19. This is not a bad spot to be. All I need is monkey. Flips himself a 10. We're looking at 16. I'm going, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Flips a third card. You already know the number. It's 5. 21. Dealer win. All I have left, literally, to my name in cash is $4. I give it to the dealer. I go, here's a tip. Time to go. Here's a tip for you. Go home, get in bed, maybe 2:15. Close my eyes. 3 seconds later, 8 o'clock, slept 5 hours, barely a wink. Drag myself to the airport, get on the flight. Flight attendant says, I like your jersey. What team is that? I go, Patriots. Clearly a gay man does not watch football. He goes, fabulous. I sit down, hops on the announcer, and this is how I end my fucking Super Bowl trip. He goes, congrats to the winners of the Super Bowl. And even to the team who lost, we hope you had fun. And that's been my 24 hours. But at least I went viral on Twitter. So, pros and cons, I guess. How much were the tickets? The tickets were, the issue is the tickets were more expensive than they could have been. I don't know if that makes sense. Generally, Super Bowl tickets historically get cheaper the closer to the event. This kind of flipped in 2000, I want to say 18, where tickets basically sold out. And so the only few tickets that were for sale were in such high demand that the price skyrocketed before the event. So I bought my tickets after the AFC Championship game for probably 25% more than I would have if I bought them, a day before the Super Bowl. But I had the security of for sure having tickets because it can be a risk. Obviously, the alternative is you wait for a day before the Super Bowl and then you don't have any tickets at all. But to answer your question, it was $70,000. So all in with all the fucking flights and the fucking fees and the fucking it was a lot. It was a lot. Would you do it again? Absolutely. I think there's a huge possibility this is the last time in my life that I ever see the Patriots in a Super Bowl, right? Like, that's totally feasible. There are franchises that have never made it into a Super Bowl ever. There are franchises that have never won a Super Bowl ever. Like, not only that, to be able to share the memory with the people who I grew up with and then also, share that experience with them, I think is really cool. I would have loved to win, but I didn't buy the tickets thinking the only value would come from a win. There's also the value of like, you know, the relationships I have with those people. By the way, look, I think the Patriots very realistically will make a Super Bowl again, or they could at the very least, but it's never guaranteed in sports. No, that is not the cost of one ticket. There's like 6 tickets and flights. You paid more for the Super Bowl than the World Series. Yes, but you also have to consider I went to the World Series Game 7 by myself. It's not like I bought 6 tickets to it. Did you see your tweet made it onto SportsCenter IG? I didn't. Yes, I'm a viral sensation. For whatever reason, at some point I just started tweeting bullshit. I was just live tweeting the game. I was just tweeting whatever the fuck I would think about. So I tweeted this out. Enjoying the music of hit artist Bad Bunny. Which I thought was funny. Probably the most I've been called white this year. That's the tweet I should have dropped when I went to the Kendrick Lamar concert. That would have been the play. Here at Kendrick Lamar, here at the pop out,